Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Claude Dauphin. I'm an actor, a French actor. And as a matter of fact, on this performance of the Playhouse, I am going to play a French actor, a somewhat indigent actor, perhaps a little run down at the heels, you know, my cuffs rather frayed, but with a certain dignity, shall we say. And only don't let me tell you any more, because I would spoil my story. Now, instead, I'd like to take this time to introduce you a very, very charming young lady whom I myself have only just recently the pleasure of meeting. Marcia. My friends, this is Marcia Patrick, and like the eager young actress she's about to portray, she's a new name to television audiences.
How do you do?
Shall we get on with the show now? Well, it begins on a New York side street, just outside a building that houses certain theatrical offices.
Tell the truth now, Paul. Do I look a sight?
A beautiful sight.
Maybe more lipstick. What do you think, Paul?
You look just fine.
Go on now. Producers never like to be kept waiting.
Waiting? I've only been waiting all my life to see someone like Mr. Sandine. But you know what, Paul? I just have a feeling today something wonderful's going to happen.
I hope so.
Hello, I'm Judy Wallace. I understand Mr. Sandine's looking for...
Mr. Sandine's not in.
Oh, but will he be back soon?
I wouldn't know, but according to everybody here, he'll be back sometime.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, then, may I wait, too?
Suit yourself.
Thank you.
That's it, dearie. Don't you let anyone put you off.
Oh, I wouldn't. I mean, gosh, for less important interviews than this, I've sometimes waited 4 and 5 days in a row.
And how did you do, honey?
Oh, well, I've never really, actually done anything important yet.
Mr. Sandine come in yet?
No.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, Jules Momont. He's going to direct this play, isn't he?
That is right, yeah. Jules Momont, fresh from his Paris success L'Amour Noir, arrives here today to supervise casting of Al Sandine's latest theatrical venture.
And you know what? I happen to know that he's looking for a new face. Don't you just love a director who wants a new face? Oh, but of course, you probably have a great deal of experience.
Quite a bit.
Say, you're here for the French doctor part, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am, but how did you know there was a doctor in the play?
I snoop. Honestly, sometimes I think if it was necessary, I'd stoop to the lowest methods. Oh, I'd about die before I'd even glance at someone's mail, but I'll darn near stand on my head to read the list of characters in a play, or what day someone's casting. Well, just guess how I knew to be here today.
You have a great deal of enthusiasm.
I should hope. Say, you'd be wonderful as the French doctor. You are French, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, that should be a big thing in your favor, then. But how did you know?
Oh, a friend of mine told me about it. Besides, I worked for Momont once in Paris.
Oh, how wonderful. Was it wonderful? Well, they say he's a genius. Is that true?
I'd say so. He's a genius, but...
But what?
Eccentric, perhaps. Very demanding and hard to get along with.
Oh, did you have a bad time with him?
It was not good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe he'll be sorry. Maybe he'll want to make it up to you and help you out this time.
Perhaps.
Anyway, I should think it would be worth it to work for even the most difficult kind of man when he has the fabulous talent they say Momont has.
You believe that?
Oh, yes, with all my heart. Why, it must be worth anything and everything. What? Oh, are you going?
Well, it's 12:30, dear. They never see you between 12:30 and 2. You'd better get some lunch.
Oh, well, thanks for telling me. Oh, well, maybe I'll see you later then?
Very possibly.
Judy, you all through?
Oh, no, I haven't even begun. Mr. Sandine's not in yet, so I haven't met him. Just came down for some coffee.
Judy, listen to me. I'm glad you missed him.
Oh, that's all right. He'll be back. What do you mean, glad?
I mean, Judy, I don't want you to go back up there. I've changed my mind.
Your mind?
It has to be my mind, Judy, because so help me, I don't think you know what you're doing. You're mesmerized by this business. You've let it take such a hold of you that...
Yes, I've let it, and I don't intend to stop it. Paul, don't you see what a job like this could mean to me?
I know what you mean to me. Now, that's why it's no use, Judy. I wanted to be fair and let you choose, the theater or me.
But I've told
Only
you.
I can't. I can't be fair because I love you too much. And you love me, Judy. You know you do.
But that doesn't alter the fact.
The facts are I want you to be my wife and make a home for us and for our children and lead normal, happy lives. But you've thrown the facts out the window for a phantom, a trick, a game that isn't real.
The theater not real? Well, now I know you don't know what you're talking about. Well, it's the most important thing in my life, that's all.
You do have it bad, don't you, darling?
About as bad as you can get it, I guess. I'm sorry, Paul, really I am. But that doesn't have to mean that we can't... New Orleans? Paul, you mean...
It came through, my transfer to New Orleans. A big break I've been working for.
Oh, Paul.
It means a lot, all right. I'll be in charge of the offices for all of Louisiana and right in line for 2 good promotions. It's a whole future.
Paul, I do love you, and I really want to say yes. Part of me does. But the other part, Paul, the most of me is crying for something else. It's something you can't explain to a person who's never felt it themselves. But it's more than just footlights and applause. It's a magic.
Now, how long can that magic last, Judy? And what happens when the lights go out and the people go home? And what about all the lonely years after the public is forgotten? I'm not asking you to sign a 5-year contract or a 10. This is a lifetime term I'm proposing.
But, Paul,
and it can't be stalled or put off any longer, my dear. You're going to have to decide by 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Four o'clock?
That's when the plane leaves. There are 2 tickets in here, Judy. We could be married right away.
Don't, Paul. It's no use. Maybe if you'd put it to me this way last week, or even 2 days ago when I was scared and down in the dumps. But, oh, don't you see, Paul? This is a Jules Momont play. He makes stars, overnight. And today, right in this very building, he'll be looking for a new face. How do I know it won't be mine?
All right, Judy. I've said all I know to say. I've got to be running along now. I've got a dozen things to do before I leave.
Okay, I'll seat right here. You were leaving, weren't you, mister?
Yes, I'm leaving. Only I'm not quite giving up yet. I'll telephone you from the airport a half an hour before the plane leaves. There's another later plane. We can catch that if you change your mind.
Don't phone. It's hard enough saying it once now. I can't help the way I have to be. Oh, Mr.
LaSalle. Jacques LaSalle. I'm sorry I did not introduce myself earlier.
And I'm Miss Judy Wallace.
For now, anyway.
Huh?
That young man, excuse me for, how do you say, eavesdropping, but it seems to me that he was proposing to you.
Oh, well, then you must have heard me,
Turn him down. Well, maybe only for the moment. You know, women are so fickle, especially women in love.
Oh, I'm not fickle. Not for my real love, anyway.
Ah, so.
The theater. I'm in love with that.
In love with it? Well, surely you should say you just love it. You know, to be in love, it means...
Doesn't to be in love mean to give your every waking thought to... Isn't it wanting someone or something above everything else, wildly and blindly with all your heart?
You almost sound like Helena.
Like who?
Well, someone I once loved very dearly. She, like you with your young man...
Oh, you mean she...
Well, she turned me down. She too chose a career. But I'm not blaming her. You know, Helena was a great actress.
Not... You don't mean Helen Duclair, the great French actress? Oh, she was magnificent, wasn't she?
She was the toast of the European stage.
She died so young. Last year, wasn't it?
Year before last.
Well, if she had to die so young, I'm glad she knew success and happiness first.
Anything else, miss?
Oh, no, thanks. As a matter of fact, I've let this get cold. I just don't seem to be able to settle down today. I'm so excited.
Today especially?
Especially. Ever since I got up this morning, it seemed like today something wonderful would happen.
Your young man proposed. Oh, that does upset you.
No, not the way you think. Because I know I'm right. Your Helen would have understood. Oh, how I'd love to meet someone like her. Someone with the courage of her convictions and then the proof that she was right.
Ah, yes, the proof.
You've known some wonderful people. Miss Duclair and Jules Momont.
And now?
Mr. LaSalle, if you don't think it odd, I mean, well, it's so cold out, and they say no one will be back up there before 2. Would you like to come and wait at my place? My boarding house is just a few blocks away, and the parlor is always nice and warm.
That's very thoughtful of you. But actually, it's rather cold outside. Well, for a short time, anyway, I think I will.
My boarding house is a convenient location, anyway. But most of the people living here are actors and actresses. Sort of gives you a sniff of the grease paint, at least, if you know what I mean. Come on in the front room. I could get you some coffee if you don't mind saccharin. None of the girls here touch sugar.
No, thank you very much.
Back home, they used to kid me I'd never be able to give up those big skookum breakfasts. Hot cakes and maple syrup, our own bacon. Well, but an actress has to watch her figure, and, well, who minds giving up anything for...
Or anyone.
Well, you make me sound so callous. I'm not really, I'm just... Well, it may sound corny, but I really am dedicated to the theater. You should understand that. You said you didn't blame Helen.
I didn't blame her.
I didn't intend to be cruel. But it's not as though she gave you up for another man.
She did.
But...
If you want to call him a man, she married Momont.
Not Jules Momont.
Momont and the theater. They're all the same. He knew how to woo her. I watched him drive her up the ladder of success, like a Svengali and his trilby. He forgot that she was also a woman. Warm, loving, and wanting love and children.
And you went on loving her, even after she married him?
Oh, well, yes, but in a weak, ineffectual way. I stood by while he killed her, smothered her in her womanly desire and his own ambition for her. 8 years. 8 years of it. From one triumphant play to another for Momont. Until one day that clay, that human clay, once so easy to mold, it snapped beneath his too eager hands. She was no more.
You are quite an actor, Mr. LaSalle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hurt you.
Oh, it's all right.
Forgive me, you know, for a moment I must have been playing Momont himself. Ah, he's a demon.
A demon.
Oh, no less. preys on the hopeful, the eager. He's forever on the watch for the new raw material like yourself.
To be so fortunate to benefit from the direction of such a genius.
But do you mean to say you would choose that, knowing it meant forsaking every other kind of life? Don't you realize he robbed her of everything she held dear?
Please don't misunderstand me. I certainly sympathize with you over your lost love. But can you be sure he did these things to her? Oh, I don't think for a minute you're saying that just because you lost Helen to him.
You're incorrigible.
What about you? Feeling as you do about him and still wanting a part in his play.
Well, an actor must eat. Besides, the part of the doctor is an ingenious one. Perfect for me. Momont must know that I could do it superbly.
The only thing is, if he knew you were in love with his wife...
Well, we are not friends, but we have a respect for one another's talents. Well, for an actor, a good part.
Oh, a good part. Oh, how I'd love to get my hands on that first part. No more waiting in casting offices, no more snooping, no more longing and hoping and dreaming.
But you think that just one part will do it?
Bring me success? Yes, I know it would. One real part. Well, it did for your Helen. Oh, I suppose it's terrible of me to compare myself to a great stage star.
He will see in you what he saw in Hélène. That same starry-eyed look, the wild, burning desire. It would be tremendous for his lead.
Do you really think so? Do you think I'd be the type?
Momont doesn't look for types. He makes them, molds them. You only must find the spirit, driving ambition. Yes, I will get him to see you.
You will? Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you to offer, but you know how directors are. Especially, I think, one as important as Momont. Well, they're apt to forget old friends or not listen to their advice.
What you do not understand is that I shouldn't listen to him. I shouldn't give him the chance to...
You hate him, don't you?
Surely you know that I'm trying to make it shoot your young man. You cannot tell me that you, like Hélène, do not sometimes dream of a cottage, green shutters, maybe, or a rose arbor, and somewhere lying about a skate, a doll, children's toys.
Oh, I suppose I do. Doesn't every woman at some time or other in her life? But I wouldn't put it above my career. Nothing could ever come before that. Oh, no, Mr. LaSalle. It's very good of you to try to steer me to what you think would be my real happiness. But with me, you're wrong. Believe me, you're wrong.
Very well, I shall say no more. It would be useless, would it not? It is settled. The director has won again. I shall see that you get into Momont.
But, Mr. LaSalle, you really think...
At 3:30, come to Sandy's office. He's supposed to be there then for sure. Or if not, we'll wait.
And you actually believe you could...
Thank you. I know he will see you.
Why, Mr. LaSalle, I believe you mean it. I can't tell you how grateful I am to...
Until then.
Hey, where have you been? Mr. Sandine's been looking everywhere for you.
For me, really?
Yes, didn't you hear? He wants you to play the elevator man.
Yes, Mr. Momont.
Miss Hart, in a few seconds a young lady will arrive. Her name is Judy Wells. Send her in to me immediately.
Yes, Mr. Momont.
Well, Mr. Momont, I'm so thrilled to meet you.
Won't you sit down?
But I don't understand. You're not... You can't... You are the great Jules Momont.
And you are going to be my next sensational star.
But, Mr. LaSalle, Mr. Momont, please, what's it all about? I thought...
Explanations are so dull. Results are what count. Anyway, if you must know, this morning, Momont, the director, sent Maman, the man, out to seek a great actress for him. It was a test, my dear Judy, and you passed it with flying colors.
Then all you were saying this afternoon about love and marriage...
Unimportant. Maman, the director, has always been stronger than that other self, which is Maman, the man. I've never allowed the weakness of love to overcome me. Maman, the director, has always won.
But I can't...
Very well. No one has fooled you. You knew what you were coming to. Let's discuss it no further. Let's discuss instead the beginning of a career that is going to rocket and...
Please, I'm so confused and mixed up.
But there is nothing to be confused about. I've told you.
You've told me this was a trick, a test. Then the part about Helen, how Momont broke her spirit, that was a lie, too?
Look, I have no desire to hear that name again. If you're serious about...
Oh, I am serious about all this, terribly. I must know. Oh, it's so important for me to know that I was right not to believe what you said about Helen. Tell me it wasn't true. Please tell me.
All right, it was true. I haven't hidden it from you. Well, she was yearning for a different kind of life, or children, domesticity. And that yearning was the flaw in the diamond. Under me, she might have been not merely great, but the greatest. Only the flaw cracks the gem. But you, Judy Wallace, you're not going to be like that. You proved that to me today.
But...
Don't tell me differently now. Just an hour ago, you were all fire and fight. No matter what pictures I painted for you, you brushed them all aside.
You're right. I closed my ears to every argument. I could never listen to any of them. My sister back home, my landlady, Paul, dear Paul. They were all trying to tell me the same thing you were, only none of them could convince me. I paid no attention to your warnings this afternoon.
You were magnificent.
After all, you're just a broken-down actor, a bitter, rejected lover. Why should I listen? But when my idol, Jules Momont, the very theater himself, don't you see what Momont himself tells me?
Yeah.
Telephone call from Miss Wallace, Mr. Momont.
She's busy.
Well, excuse me, sir, but they say it's urgent and that they'll hold on. It's from the airport.
You should know that. There can be no weakening now. No glancing back. Answer that call, young lady, and you might as well walk out of this office for good.
Yes, I must make a decision. I've always known that. This office, all the dreams I've ever had since I was a little girl could come true, right here. And they would have, but for Helen.
What do you mean?
Helen found out too late that she'd lost all the things that really counted. I mustn't let what happened to Helen happen to me.
Don't answer it.
Mr. Momont, if I don't answer Paul now, he'll be gone, out of my life forever.
Let him go. You don't need him. You need...
You, Momont? The man in you knows that isn't true. I do need him.
You sure of that?
Completely. Hello? Oh, yes, this is Miss Wallace. Yes, I'll hold on. You must know how grateful I am to Momont, the director, for giving me my chance. But I shall be forever in debt to Momont, the man. You didn't have to be so honest with me. But because you were, you've opened my heart to myself. Momont may be a great director, but the man I know is fine, very kind, and worthy of all the love I know Helen must have felt for him. For doing something wonderful for me. Hello? Hello, Paul? Oh, darling, darling. Yes, I'll be there in half an hour. Yes, I'm leaving right now. Goodbye, darling.
For once I've been honest. It was the least I could do for you, Helen. My love.
Yeah?
Excuse me, Mr. Beaumont, but all these people are still here. Shall I send them home?
Send him home? Of course not. I have a play to cast.
Every actor likes to play a dual role, and I certainly enjoyed mine in this performance of the Playhouse. I am Claude Dauphin saying goodbye and thank you for watching.